Welcome back to After the Snap. I am your host, Tasha Pierce, and today I'm bringing you a Netflix movie review. That's right, today's review is going to be on the Jason Momoa action flick, Sweet Girl. So if you'd like to know what my thoughts were as I was watching this movie and what I think about the movie overall, then let's go. Okay, as I said at the top, the movie was starring Jason Momoa, but it was directed by Brian Andrew Mendoza. It came out on Netflix on August 20th of this year. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes. And let's see what the description says. Devoted family man Ray Cooper vows justice against a pharmaceutical company responsible for pulling a potentially life saving drug from the market just before his wife, who's played by Adria Arjona, so just before his wife dies from cancer. But when his search for the truth leads to a deadly encounter that puts Ray and his daughter Rachel, and who is played by Isabella Merced, in harm's way, Ray's mission turns into a quest for vengeance in order to protect the only family he has left. So, going into this, because it's rated R, going into this, seeing Jason Momoa, hearing the premise, I thought cookie cutter action flick. And, what was I doing? I wasn't doing anything that day. I'll get into this action movie. But cookie cutter, up to a point, it was. Then it just flipped itself on its head and it did something different. So let's talk about Rotten Tomatoes. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 15% from on the tomato meter from the critics, a 44% audience score. So it's not looking good. It wasn't critically acclaimed. Let's just say that. Now, I didn't look this up prior to watching the movie because I didn't want to go in biased. I just wanted to watch the movie and see what kind of performance we were going to get from Jason Momoa, because Jason Momoa with a strong ensemble around him is one thing, but is Jason Momoa charismatic enough to hold a movie up on his own? So those were the things that I was looking for, and I can honestly say I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly surprised because even though this premise has been done to death, there was things that Jason Momoa, his brand of vengeance, brought something different to an old cliche, and I enjoyed it. For the most part, a Netflix movie. Who, and everybody knows, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. I usually don't have very much faith in Netflix movies. They are very hit or miss. For this one, it's neither. It's neither a hit or a miss. It's somewhere right up the middle. A lot of the critics complained about a plot twist about halfway through the movie. Like I said, the movie got turned on its head, and it shocked and surprised me. Even though I had an inkling that there would be something different than what was presented in front of us could not have possibly been all that there was. So yeah, I did have a feeling that we were in for a switcheroo, but I didn't expect the switcheroo we got. With all that being said, this movie was loaded with action, and the action scenes were pretty good. Like I said, though, that those are the parts of the movie that were very, very cookie cutter, very, very vanilla action movie. We got action. We got Jason Momoa bravado. We've got a good performance by Isabella Merced, who was playing his daughter Rachel. We had just your run of the mill action movie cops who are always 1 second too late to the party. Uh, we had a hitman who, when the main characters, Rachel and her father, Ray, when they interacted with the hitman, because there was a lot of interaction, a lot of talking with him, when they that was some of the movie's best, I guess, dialogue. Some of it, of course, some of the dialogue seemed forced, but when the interaction was with this hitman, which should have been the most uncomfortable dialogue in the whole movie, that dialogue went off pretty well. Again, lots of action, kind of fast paced in the beginning, a bit of a lull in the middle, and then we go back into high gear towards the end. But for me, the movie wasn't a miss. On my scale from 1 to 5, I would give it a 3. And most of the people who have seen this movie are not in agreement with me, and that's fine. The movie was not that bad, and especially for a Netflix movie, it just it hit right. Maybe it hit right in the moment, because to see how Jason Momoa held himself up, and also how would they do something different with an action movie about a pharmaceutical company that was greedy and was not doing things in the best interest of the public. My curiosity was, what could this movie, Sweet Girl, possibly bring to the table that hadn't already been done before? And they successfully did something. And again, this movie is not winning any Oscars. It's not winning any Emmys, any Golden Globes. It's not winning any prizes. But it did show me that Jason Momoa could carry a movie, even though this is, again, very much in his wheelhouse. He can carry a movie about revenge. And he's done this before, but I'm seeing a growth in the amount of acting that Jason Momoa is doing, instead of just being Jason Momoa, if you get my drift. Isabella Merced, I was very confused about, what her role was in this movie. And as we moved on through the movie, I realized that she definitely has the chops. She's got range. She can show a different side of herself. She can put on a Jason Momoa bravado. And she can also play the sweet girl, who was how this movie was titled. It was for her. So watch it if you'd like. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other whether or not to watch it, but I give it a 3 out of 5, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad to me. It wasn't as bad as the Rotten Tomatoes made me think it would be. If I would have seen the Rotten Tomatoes scores prior to watching the movie, I would not have watched the movie. So those things do mean something, and I will add my review to that so that it can, maybe balance it a little. But again, hour and 50 minutes might have been a little long. Could have scaled this back. It could have been a made for TV length movie, and things would have been fine at around the 90-minute mark. But yeah, if you are looking for just some mindless, cookie cutter kind of action hero movie, the first hour of this movie is for you. That second hour of the movie is where we get into Crazy Town. So be prepared for that. And that's all I've got. That's all I've got for this movie and this review. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more movie reviews, please hit the thumbs up. Tell me down in the comments what movie you'd like to see me do next. I did Candyman. I did that on my weekly wrap-up live stream. So if you're interested in my thoughts on Candyman, you can find that there. You can join me on Saturdays at 3 p.m. for the weekly wrap-up live stream. But outside of that, I've got nothing else. I appreciate you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.